Love it. Mm. Mm. You can't start a show without a sip of espresso. I mean, you just can't. For those of you newly tuning in to SonicFlare, welcome to Painting by SonicFlare. Today, we're going to be painting Maine's beautiful fall landscapes. We hope you will enjoy the show, and thanks so much for tuning in, as always. Wait, what? Dude, that's not the intro. This is the intro. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's having a wonderful, peachy Sunday afternoon. Today's episode is sponsored. We don't have too many of these sponsored videos. I'm not a shill like so many others on the YouTube hinterlands. That said, who is our sponsor today? Well, it's a company called Soundpeats. Full disclosure, Soundpeats sent me their brand new H3 reference, state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line, full wireless, active noise canceling headphones for review, and asked me if I would opine about them in exchange for receiving them for free. I'm not getting any monetary compensation to make this video. My opinions are, as always, my own. Moreover, even though I'm dropping some discount code links below in the description, I'm not making any money off of the sale of these. This is not an Amazon affiliate deal or any other platform affiliate deal. I am literally just reviewing these. In exchange for this review, I got these free H3s. Now then, when I first got the email from their marketing lead, lovely lady, by the way, this was maybe about a month and a half ago. Hey, we like your channel and curious if you'd be interested in reviewing our brand new H3 reference quality, active noise canceling, true wireless earbuds. My first thought was Soundpeats. Never heard of you guys. Who are you? Where do you come from? All that good stuff. And lo and behold, they've been around for 15 years. They're an Asian company. And they've sold, believe it or not, over 30 million ear things, pods, dods, whatever. Ear things, earbuds. 30 million, which is considerable. And yet, I, the great SonicFlare, have never heard of them. What a shame. So I did some more digging. And what really grabbed my hook on these H3s were a couple of things. One, the price. So, $129. $129 for their top-of-the-line, reference-level earbuds. That's pretty impressive. I was curious about the build quality, of course. I was hoping it wasn't some, cheap Chinese crap that ends up on a landfill 3 days later after the influencer and shill has made a boatload of money. Just kidding. Of course I'm not, but anyway. And so I, piqued my interest. $129. That's pretty cool. They've been around for 15 years, so obviously they're not a fly-by-night operation. I checked out their previous products, and they look, like most of these earbuds look like. Incidentally, I did go on a international trip last week, and lo and behold, Chicago Airport, one of their electronic stores actually sells Soundpeats. Go figure. I never looked at that. It never registered with me. Then again, I don't really spend much time looking at stuff like that. So, really impressive. So, of course, I agreed. And when I looked at the rest of the spec sheet, it looked pretty darn impressive. So let's take a look at some of the finer details of the product, as they say. And first thing that kind of stood out at me, which, they obviously amplify quite a bit. 55 dB of noise canceling. Well, of course, as soon as I read that, I was like, ooh. My BS meter went way off charts. It went to 11. And of course, the reason being that that's a typical marketing number. You have no idea what the X and Y axis is on that measurement. You have no idea what the reference level is. You have no idea what the reference signal is, how scaled they're looking at this. And so, I mean, you can come up with just about any claim you want without disclosing any of the finer points and details of how you exactly came to that number. So be that as it may, I was like, yeah, okay, 55 dB, not going to happen. Moreover, I know point of fact that my previous reference earbuds, my AirPods Pro 2, are at best capable of about 28 to 30 dB of noise canceling. And since they're the benchmark, I knew that the 55 dB was kind of like, yeah, whatever. They do support aptX, that LDAC codec for lossless on Android phones, because of course Apple does not support that. I always get flack for this. Believe you me when I tell you that in my not so humble opinion, that whole lossless thing it's completely irrelevant. I think that most people, myself included, yes, you'll hear it here first. And by the way, as always, I am posting my actual auditory hearing curve for you to see without any nonsense, without any marketing or hyperbole otherwise, that this is what my ears can hear, period, full stop, right? And so, people make so much noise about that. I think it's completely irrelevant. To me, something like Dolby Atmos support is way more of an experience driver than whether or not I'm listening to lossless or not, because frankly, I don't think you can hear it. People that claim they can hear it have never been able to prove that they can hear it unequivocally. And so, much like all these other claims, I kind of take them with 6 grains of salt and 4 grains of peppercorns. So, the lossless thing is supported. Okay, cool. They have a native app for Android and iPhone, of course. Unfortunately, like the Technics, and I'll drop a link to the Technics video below, they do not offer any kind of quick pair features on iOS, which of course is an API that's been part of iOS, I think, for the last 3 or 4 generations now, that you can plug in. And if your headphones support quick Bluetooth pairing, you'll basically open up your case of your Bluetooth AirPods, or earbuds, I should say, sorry. And it'll pop up a dialog box with the question whether you want to connect or not. And so anyway, I think that's a miss, but Technics missed that too. Now, I will say that, like in the Technics review, as I have later confirmed with Technics, of course, Soundpeats did not create this app. At least I doubt that they did. This was a third-party development. And, the good news is, hey, find a better developer that knows the iOS and Android ecosystem and all the various Bluetooth APIs that you can plug into for free, of course, and create an experience that's even that much better, right? So this is the traditional sort of, you go through the app, you got to pair, you got to... So, okay, fine. You only really do that once. It does support 2 connections. The Technics support 3. And by the way, here are my 2 other reference headphones that I'm comparing all this to. Now, as a sidebar, Apple just announced their AirPods Pro 3, which I have here in my hands. This is their latest generation, which just came out last week with all the big hoopla announcements. I'm sure you missed it or didn't miss it. And so, curious to see what these are going to compare like. And then, of course, here are my Technics buds that I reviewed, linked below. And I've been using these, and they are, for the most part, a pretty good pair. I still prefer the AirPods in sound quality. But, of course, the star of the show, and as we will find out why, is, of course, this H3 pair from Soundpeats. Now, when you take these guys out, I will say the experience is pretty high-end. They are very well made, especially considering the price point of $129. I'll say it right out, they're better made than the Technics that I think still retail for $299 if I'm not mistaken, although there's discount codes for those as well on the various platforms and such, so you can get them for less than that, obviously. But I will say they come in a very nice, crystal clear PVC housing. There's definitely lots of metal inside here, and stainless steel and aluminum. I'm told that obviously helps with making sure that magnetic forces and such are not counterintuitive on the sound, etc. By the way, the hands down biggest feature of these H3s is the following. Out of all these earbuds that I've tried, not only the ones that are here, but others that I've tried, they're the only ones, ladies and gentlemen, that are actually a triple driver design. Not one, not two, there's 3 drivers in here. What does that look like? There's one dynamic driver for bass, boom, 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 boom. And then there's 2 additional drivers for mids and highs. And absolutely brilliant design. I have to say they really, with crossover, of course, right? Because you've got the triple design. And they're still small. They're still very pocketable. They're still very comfortable. I mean, when I put these in, it's like I'm wearing my AirPods or the Technics earbuds, right? Their comfort level very high. And of course, by the way, because I didn't mention it before, the 2 other drivers, the mids and highs, are balanced armature drivers, right? Because they're obviously much smaller, and that's how they are able to fit and squeeze 3 drivers into a set of active noise canceling full wireless earbuds. So now that the specs are out of the way, what do these darn things sound like? Gotta be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect, right? Again, the spec sheet looked interesting, promising, and of course my reference AirPods are what I carry day in, day out, have been for the last 3 years, ever since they came out. The Technics, as of last or early year, have joined the fray. I love the battery life on these, which is about twice as much as, or twice as long as I get on the AirPods, so that's really cool. The build quality on the Technics, especially the case, is a little on the flimsy side. I was kind of expecting a little more than that. It's that sort of cheapy, plasticky feel that you get. The earbuds themselves are fine. I was expecting a little more sonically out of these than what I got, but what I was not prepared for, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm being absolutely honest here, I'm not being paid to say this, these guys completely blew me away with how damn good they sound. No, I'm not kidding. Seriously. For $129, for $329, I don't think you're going to find a pair of wireless earbuds that are going to replicate the quality of sound. Let's start with the bass. Because it's a triple design, the dynamic driver really is there just for the bass. The bass is punchy, tight, it's got guts, it's got shove. It's about as much of an equivalent of listening to my main loudspeakers upstairs or downstairs in Studio B and really getting that visceral impact of bass. Seriously, a sensation that you should experience. It's damn good. Very articulate, very deliberate, great sounding. I've always felt that bass should be a little higher on headphones than it is on your main loudspeakers, just because of how the sound is being perceived and recognized by your ear canal being generated right in front of it. So kudos to Soundpeats for doing such a great job on the bass. Mid and highs are on the probably more neutral side of the sound spectrum, where, for example, I think in my opinion, the Technics and the AirPods are more on the warmer side. These deliver clarity. There's nice resolution. Male vocals, female vocals. You really get that sort of tactile feel of their voice, and it just comes across as more neutral sounding than it does on the Technics and AirPods. Treble is another astounding feature of these. Very clear, very clean, and again, based on my hearing profile that I've shown you guys, to me, these sound a lot better in treble compared to the AirPods and the Technics. So, I gotta be honest, absolutely astounding, right? Now, looking at active noise cancellation, as I said, I was on a flight, international flight, and I had the opportunity to listen to these. My all-out noise canceling reference headphones are the AirPods Max, which I believe cancel noise and suppress noise, engine noise, and that deep grumble rumble that you hear better than any other headphones that I've heard. So they're obviously a lot more expensive. They're also bulky. They're big. They're over the ear. This, that, and the other. And most of the time, if I go on a shorter flight, like an hour or two, I just use my AirPods and I'm happy-go-lucky and enjoy what I get. Now, I'll say that the ANC quality of these, the 55 dB marketing claim aside, it's probably on par with the Technics, subjectively. They do a good job. The AirPods Pro 2s just do that much of a better job. And so, yeah, they're perfectly fine. I think most people would listen to them and be like, oh, hey, this is really cool. Number one rule in high-end audio, you don't know what you don't know until you hear otherwise. And so, yeah, unless you have the AirPods or the AirPods Pro Max next to you, you're going to think that these are pretty fine, right? And they are. So I'm really curious to see what the AirPods Pro 3 will do in that regard, because those are supposed to be twice as good as the previous AirPods Pro 2. So who knows? You'll have to tune in for another video at some point in the future when I get to it. Back to the Soundpeats. So active noise canceling, pretty good. On the app side, there's this, again, silly feature in my opinion. Technics did the same thing, where you can select from 4 different active noise canceling profiles. One's for gaming, one's for like a loud restaurant, whatever. Just give me the best noise cancellation that you can give me, and give me the best transparency mode that you can give me. And I'll be fine, right? Whether or not I'm in a kitchen now or in a subway or whatever, to me, it should cancel noise as much as possible. So what's the point of having an adjuster, right? So that's an easy fix, though. Again, it's all software driven, so they can easily change that up and switch that out. Now, I will say that, again, as far as a pass-through or what do you call it? The feature that the transparency mode feature, by far and away, Apple does the best job with that. Seriously. When you turn transparency on, you literally feel like you're not having any kind of earbuds or big AirPods Maxes on your head, around your head, in your ears, out of your ears at all. And I mean that sincerely. The Technics, forget it. Really not very good. The Soundpeats are a little better than the Technics. Still nowhere near as good as what Apple and their engineers have come up with. So, how often are you going to use transparency mode? I have no idea. It's all up to you. Obviously, that's a subjective, personal experience that you're trying to create. But nowhere near as good as what Apple has to offer. They're obviously the benchmark. And then I'm not even getting into the adaptive transparency mode that you're listening to it in transparency and a loud noise hits and it automatically starts noise canceling almost perceptively before the sound even occurs. That's how quickly that algorithm can react. The H3's Soundpeats do not have that feature at all. And on the Technics, it's so poorly implemented that it's basically useless. They do come with again, graphic equalizer and stuff like that. If you feel like playing with that, futzing with that, fine. Not my cup of tea at all. The one thing that I think is a miss that hopefully, because it's software driven, they'll be able to fix and change up is the feature that I call Dolby Atmos. In my opinion, Dolby Atmos is absolutely astounding when it comes to an experiential driven music playback experience. If the mix is done right, it's amazing. The headphones completely disappear. I feel like I'm listening to my HiFi in my main studio or Studio B, and it's very, very convincing. Unfortunately, the H3s do not offer Dolby Atmos support as of yet. Hopefully, that'll come in a future update. So we will see what comes of that. All in all, I have to say that for $129, this is about as impressive a product as I've seen, period. So kudos to the Soundpeats team for designing and creating such an amazing product. $129 plus you have stackable discount codes down below. You can't go wrong. I mean, seriously, if these are not on your to-do list for listening, smack you upside the head. No, I'm just kidding. I'll send a complaint to your HR department. How about that? So, again, my opinion only. These are my new reference earbuds, sonically, sound quality-wise, without a doubt. Way better than AirPods, way better than the Technics. However, when you take the totality of the picture into account, active noise cancellation, Dolby Atmos support, etc., 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 they have room to grow. But sonically speaking, state of the art, A+++. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Painting with SonicFlare today. We hope you enjoyed the show and the lovely scenery of Maine. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.